bizarre disappearance and reappearance of Stephen Kubacki, a true crime mystery that defies explanation. Welcome to Shock Story. I'm Billy, and today we are diving deep into one of the strangest and most unexplained real-life disappearances in modern history. This is a case that has left investigators, psychologists, and conspiracy theorists baffled for decades. It's a case where reality seems to blur into something beyond explanation. Buckle up, because this one is wild. The mysterious disappearance. It all started on February 20th, 1978, when a 23-year-old college student named Stephen Kubacki mysteriously vanished without a trace near the shores of Lake Michigan. At the time, Stephen was a student at Hope College, a small Christian school in Holland, Michigan. He was a bright and ambitious young man, well-versed in linguistics, philosophy, and psychology. But he wasn't just an academic, he was also an experienced outdoorsman. He loved hiking, skiing, and exploring nature. That winter, he decided to take a solo cross-country skiing trip near the edge of Lake Michigan. He had done similar trips before, and he was well prepared, but this time, he never came back. The search begins. When Stephen failed to return, his worried friends and family reported him missing. Authorities immediately launched a search party. They scoured the area looking for any sign of him. And then they made a bizarre discovery. Stephen's skis and backpack were found abandoned on the ice near the lake's edge. His footprints were clearly visible in the snow, leading straight toward the water. But here's where things get weird. His footprints stopped abruptly near the shore. There were no returning footprints, as if he had simply walked onto the ice and vanished into thin air. Search and rescue teams combed the area. They even sent divers into the freezing lake, fearing that he had fallen through the ice and drowned. But there was no sign of a body. Days turned into weeks, and still no trace of Stephen. After an extensive search with no results, authorities eventually declared him dead. His family was devastated. His classmates and professors at Hope College mourned the loss of a promising young man. The case went cold, but this was only the beginning of the mystery. The shocking reappearance, 15 months later. Fast forward to May 5th, 1979, 15 months after his disappearance. In the quiet town of Pittsfield, Massachusetts, 700 miles away from where he vanished, a young man suddenly appeared, lying in a field. He was disoriented, exhausted, and confused. He had no idea where he was or how he got there. That man was Stephen Kubacki. The unbelievable details. Stephen woke up wearing completely different clothes than what he had on the day he disappeared. He also had a strange satchel full of maps, suggesting he had been traveling. But the strangest part? He had no memory of the past 15 months. It was as if he had been erased from time. He later described the experience as if he had blacked out near Lake Michigan and then suddenly woken up in Massachusetts. When he returned to his family, they were in shock. They had already grieved his presumed death, yet here he was, alive. His mother, overjoyed but desperate for answers, asked him where he had been. He had no idea. The investigation, where was he? Law enforcement officials immediately began questioning Stephen, hoping to piece together the mystery. They asked him if he had been kidnapped. He said no. They asked him if he had suffered any trauma. He said no. Medical exams found no signs of injury, starvation, or abuse. He seemed completely healthy, yet he had no memory of the missing time. Authorities were baffled. If he had been in the wilderness for 15 months, he should have had overgrown hair, severe weight loss, and signs of exposure. But he seemed normal. A strange behavior shift. After reappearing, Stephen displayed an odd reluctance to discuss what happened. He refused to undergo psychiatric evaluations. He avoided the media. When asked if he wanted to investigate his own disappearance, he simply said no. This made some people wonder. Did Stephen know more than he was saying? Theories. What really happened to Stephen Kubacki? To this day, no one knows for sure what happened to Stephen during those 15 lost months, but that hasn't stopped speculation. Theory number 1. Dissociative fugue, amnesia. One of the most common explanations is that Stephen suffered from dissociative fugue, a rare psychological disorder where a person loses their memory and identity for a period of time. During a fugue state, people wander, travel great distances, and assume new identities, only to later wake up with no memory of their actions. It's possible that something traumatic happened to Stephen near Lake Michigan, causing his brain to shut down and enter this fugue state. But if that's the case, why did he refuse medical evaluations? Theory number 2. Abduction, human or alien. Some believe Stephen may have been abducted, either by humans or by something else. Could he have been kidnapped, brainwashed, and later released? Or did something far stranger happen? There are numerous reports of alien abduction cases where victims lose time and reappear later with no memory of what happened. Stephen himself never denied this possibility, but he also never confirmed it. Theory number 3. The Lake Michigan Triangle. Here's where things get really creepy. There is a mysterious area in Lake Michigan known as the Lake Michigan Triangle. Just like the Bermuda Triangle, this region is infamous for disappearances, strange lights, and bizarre incidents. Many believe Stephen's disappearance might be linked to a time slip, a portal, or an alternate dimension. Did he somehow get caught in a rift in time and space, only to be dropped back into our world 15 months later? We may never know. The aftermath. Where is Stephen now? After his mysterious return, Stephen went on to live a normal life. He earned a doctorate in psychology, wrote books, and kept a low profile. He has never publicly spoken about his disappearance again. To this day, his case remains one of the strangest, unsolved mysteries in American history. What do you think happened to Stephen Kubacki? Drop your theories in the comments. This is Billy from Shock Story, bringing you the most mind-blowing true crime cases. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more shocking stories.